guys, welcome back to another episode of Trackside Trouble. I'm Chase DeMarco from Mooresville, North Carolina, and today we have two special guests joining us. The GOAT of kart racing, Tony Belk, as he has had a lot of wins in his career with Phantom Racing chassis. And also, we have also joining us Alex Slade, as he is coming off English Creek win and also a Kids Night win recently. As you know, Alex, you want to tell us about your English Creek win, about that this year?
Yeah, we went out to Iowa there and ended up getting the win in the BP. Motor blew up in the intermediate out there, but yeah, ended up getting the BP.
Yeah, it was the English Creek Nationals. Did you guys run all the races out there while you're out there?
Yeah, we ran Viola Boys and English Creek. So
Where'd you guys end up at Viola?
Like
uh
this.
ended up getting since I spun out in the heat race. But
Yes, Tony, anything crazy happened there? Other than obviously you wrecked
Fowler boys.
or you got wrecked? The whole trip.
Yeah, Josh left me at a service station by myself. We won't talk about that.
Why do you leave you?
Oh, he got scared. He's shaking his head, yes.
No flat tires like we had last year at the trailer.
No flat, no flat tires this year.
Yes.
there was a screw in Dad's tire though.
Yeah, we did have a screw. We did have a screw in the truck tire before we left, and it was holding there the whole time. We drove all the way home.
Yes, Tony, you want to tell us about your background, how you got into racing and karting, and did you drive when you were young like us?
Yeah, I started a little bit later. I was like 15, and my dad actually got it started, him and a buddy of his. And we went to a race one time and then came back and decided we would like to try that. And actually, my dad and a friend of his opened a track up that, was already there. It was called I-85 Speedway in Salisbury, which is now the quarter midget track that's there.
How many
It
times
was a high bank asphalt track. And
were you good at, or how
then
good were you at that track? At your own track?
basically,
How good were you at your own track or your home track that you guys built?
that was actually pretty decent. We raced against a bunch of people like Clay Campbell, the one that, owns Martinsville Speedway now. We raced against him. We had a ball. Sometimes I'd win, sometimes he'd win. And then, later on, I transitioned over to dirt, and I've just, been fortunate, had a lot of good people behind me. And from there, it's been history.
Yes, how did you link up with Harold at PRC? I've seen you work with him for a while now and end up coaching young drivers like us.
Actually, my father-in-law did a lot of work for Harold, and we all became good friends. And I've ran every kart that he's made, and he asked me over 20 years ago, did I want a job? And I took took a chance, and it's worked out real great so far. I raced up till 2016, and then I got out of it a little bit, and we got into the wing kart deal and working with kids, and I've enjoyed that a lot.
Yes, as you've had a lot of wins and your shop is slammed with trophies. You want to tell us about some of those some of those trophies and wins in the background?
Yeah. All the ones going up the stairwell is the national. The two of them is this young man won. The other two, Biscuit Williams has won.
Mm-hmm.
Then down at the bottom is three of them is kids night. And I've won it two other times with White Miller and Jackson Merrifield.
What
And
did they keep their trophies at their house? They not want to. They
they
didn't
kept
want to
their
let you showcase
trophy.
it. Yeah.
They kept theirs. I wanted it, but they kept it.
Yes,
The
how
the ones in the glass belong. That's all mine. Mine. Me and my wife have won.
hmm how old were you when you first started racing? What did you race in when you were younger?
I would say probably around 15, a little over 40 years.
What would you start racing in?
Huh?
What'd you start racing in?
Racing at?
Would you race in
Huh? In flat carts.
black
Yeah, I
carts?
ran flat carts.
What do you
Yeah. I ran
what do you
flat carts up till
yeah. What do you enjoy most about, uh now what you're doing, teaching us, helping us get better? How do you enjoy that?
so,
How do you, what do you do right now?
I enjoy more helping all the kids, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Helping everybody. Just
You've helped
I'll
me,
be production.
helped
I've
me,
enjoyed it.
yeah. You've helped me, Alex, Wyatt Miller, Biscuit Williams. You've worked with a lot of kids in the past.
Yep.
You want to tell us something, that nobody would know about you, or that some outside of racing that's a hobby you do.
Well, I don't know if you call it a hobby, but me and my wife go hiking a lot. And just earlier in the year, we was in Costa Rica looking at all the waterfalls. Usually I always give her a hard time. I said every waterfall is at least 2.4 miles to get there hiking. But
Yeah,
we enjoy it. So
yeah, I've hiked a couple times before to a waterfall. It's pretty fun to go see
yeah.
the view and stuff. Yeah, now that you're currently helping Alex and you've helped him get a lot of success, you want to tell us a little bit about him and, how you worked with him and helped him grow and get better.
Actually, he does a lot of stuff that I've never figured I had speed at. He does stuff that I'm like, that shouldn't have worked, but it did. He always amazes me. And actually, he's actually taught me a lot.
Yeah.
But I enjoy helping him, and he's a good kid. He listens, and he's got a good head on his shoulders, and hopefully, hopefully, he don't run off the micros too soon.
Yeah. What is something Alex, drives you crazy with?
So,
What's something Alex drives you crazy with?
uh, when he gets out there and he starts trying too hard, and then he spins it out, and then I want to do this to him.
Yeah, what would you do? Would you say to him when he gets off the track you know after he does something like that?
I I really don't have to say nothing. You can see it in his emotions and all. You really don't have to say nothing to him.
Yeah, I've seen you definitely lose your mind at me or whoever it was you've worked with.
Yeah.
All right,
It's always
Alex.
made it's always made you better, right?
Mhm. Yeah, Alex, let me ask you some questions now. Like, who got you into racing? Your family, your dad? Did you go to a race or what was it?
Yeah, really my whole family. My mom raced, my dad raced, my grandpa raced, my other grandpa built race engines, so my cousins raced. So yeah, really my whole family.
Yeah. Now that you've been racing for a while, how long did it take you to get your first win and what was it in?
Actually it was at Metro Atlanta Speedway in Atlanta, Georgia. I was 5 years old. It was in a quarter midget, and it was my third ever race.
Yeah, now that you've been racing for a while and you've had a lot of big wins, I remember when you drove the 5 car. Why'd you switch to the 16?
Um, Really because my grandpa ran the 16. Um, Actually, background story. One time at Millbridge, me and Brantley Lamb had the same number, and they got us confused. So um, one of us started ahead of the other. So I started ahead of him, and he started behind me. And then since we had the same number, they got us mixed up. So I started behind him instead.
Yeah, as Mr. Tony talked about those trophies in the background, which one is your biggest win so far?
Um, I'm fortunate to have all these big wins and stuff. But probably both Kids Night and English Creek National wins. But out of all of them, probably Kids Night this year in January.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, now that you've started running the micro this year part time, how much fun are you having in that? Now that you get to race with me and all of us starting to move up, and how do you like racing with all of us?
Yeah, we're all starting to move up, and I had pretty fun. Later this year, gonna run the Tulsa Shootout, and really trying to fit those in when we can with the schedule with the wing carts and stuff. But yeah, just trying to fit them in the schedule, and uh, hopefully we move on, and hopefully we do good.
Yeah, do you ever make a mess in Tony's trailer and get him mad?
Um, no, by now I've learned the first time I ran with I was bottle flipping and he told me to stop, so I never did it again.
Yeah. Now, you said you're going to run the Tulsa Shootout this year. How big is that going to be for you to go into, you know, the biggest micro race in the country and be able to run that?
Yeah, that's gonna be one of the biggest races I've ran in my career. Yeah, it'll be really fun to go and run it. I'm excited. Yeah, really excited.
Yeah, as Mr. Tony's helped you. How much has he helped you the most? And, as you said, he yells at you sometimes. When did he get the most mad at you?
Usually, like you said earlier, when I spin out because I drive it too hard and wants to strangle me and yeah, and then um never gives up on me though. He always believes in me and still gives me a fast setup even when I mess up still.
Yeah. Are the micros, next in your career? Like, what are you wanting to drive, in the future? Sprint cars, late models, legends, NASCAR, whatever it is.
Yeah, micros are probably my next step in my career and um yeah, micros and then my overall goal in racing, I want to run 410 sprint cars. Um and then I also later on want to be like Ricky Thornton or Kyle Larson that can get in anything and drive it and do pretty good in it.
Yeah, as you said, you want to drive 410 sprint cars. Now that you've ran the micro, is that what, kind of, wanted you to, or you wanted to drive 410s because you just get to drift a lot and go run the top and all that in the micros?
Yeah, I honestly I wanted to do 410s whenever I moved to dirt, honestly. So yeah, the micros weren't just that got me into that. I've honestly just wanted to run it since I've got into dirt.
Yeah, what else are into outside of racing? You like, or I've seen you play iRacing with me, and we like to do that. Like, what else do you like to do?
Yeah, iRacing. I like to ride my four-wheeler. Like to go swimming. Uh, those things are really the only things I like outside of racing, and it's
Yeah,
fun.
you know, uh, do you have any, siblings, older brothers or sisters?
Yeah, I have two younger brothers. They're three. They're twins. Chase and Hunter.
You think they're gonna race when they're older? Now that you've been doing it, and as they get older, they're gonna see you doing that. You think they would race?
Honestly, no. One of them's a scaredy cat. One of them might race, but I doubt it.
Doubt it. Yeah, good catching up with you. Thanks for having both of y'all on the show. It was a lot of fun. Getting to ask questions and talk about all that stuff. Thanks, guys, for so much for watching. We'll see you guys in the next one.